The Melina Frattolin case, A Father's Love and Hidden Truths. The tragic death of 9-year-old Melina Frattolin sent shockwaves through communities in both Canada and the United States. This case illuminates the devastating consequences of domestic violence and the complex layers of truth that can lie beneath a carefully constructed public image. It is a somber reminder of the vigilance required in safeguarding the vulnerable. At the heart of this profound tragedy are two individuals, Luciano Frattolin, a 45-year-old father from Montreal, and his young daughter, Melina Frattolin. Their story culminated in an unthinkable act of violence. Melina Frattolin was murdered, her life brutally cut short. The incident unfolded in the serene landscapes of upstate New York, specifically near Lake George and Ticonderoga. What began as a father-daughter trip quickly devolved into a desperate search and, ultimately, a murder investigation. The tranquility of the region was shattered by the grim reality of a child's death. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Initial events and police response. The sequence of events began on Saturday, July 19th, when Melina Frattolin was reported missing. Her father, Luciano Frattolin, was the one who made the report. He claimed that his daughter had been abducted, initiating a frantic search. Frattolin's account suggested a sudden and violent snatching of his child. This claim immediately triggered a high-stakes response from law enforcement. The urgency of the situation was palpable, given the age of the missing child. In response to the reported abduction, an Amber Alert was activated on Sunday, July 20th. This critical public safety tool was deployed with the belief that Melina was in imminent danger. The alert rapidly disseminated information across a wide area. The activation of the Amber Alert generated widespread attention and concern. News outlets and social media platforms amplified the message, urging the public to be vigilant. Communities rallied, hoping for Melina's safe return. However, as the investigation progressed, authorities began to identify significant inconsistencies in Frattolin's account. His narrative of the abduction started to unravel under scrutiny. The details he provided did not align with the emerging evidence. The timeline presented by Frattolin was particularly questioned by investigators. Discrepancies in his story raised immediate red flags. These inconsistencies suggested a narrative that was not entirely truthful. Crucially, no evidence of an abduction was found by law enforcement. There were no signs of forced entry, struggle, or any third-party involvement. The absence of such evidence further deepened suspicions surrounding Frattolin's claims. The search for Melina took a grim turn on Sunday, July 20th, the same day the Amber Alert was issued. Melina's body was discovered in Ticonderoga, New York. This discovery confirmed the worst fears of investigators and the public. The location of the discovery was a secluded area, far from where an abduction would typically occur. This detail further contradicted Frattolin's initial report. The focus of the investigation shifted dramatically from a missing person case to a homicide. The immediate aftermath of the discovery was a scene of intense police activity. Forensic teams were deployed to process the scene for evidence. The tragic finding brought a somber conclusion to the search for Melina. The inconsistencies in Frattolin's story, coupled with the discovery of Melina's body, quickly pointed law enforcement in a specific direction. The focus of their investigation narrowed considerably. The initial abduction claim was now viewed as a deliberate misdirection. The public's hope for Melina's safe return was replaced by profound grief and anger. The case transitioned from a search and rescue operation to a criminal investigation. The tragic reality of Melina's death became undeniable. Arrest and charges. In the early morning hours of Monday, July 21st, Luciano Frattolin was taken into custody. His arrest followed the discovery of Melina's body and the mounting evidence against him. The father who reported his daughter missing was now the prime suspect. Frattolin was subsequently charged with serious offenses. These charges included murder, reflecting the gravity of Melina's death. He also faced a charge of concealment of a corpse, indicating an attempt to hide his actions. The legal process began with Frattolin's arraignment. He pleaded not guilty to the charges brought against him. This plea set the stage for a protracted legal battle. Following his arraignment, Frattolin was held in Essex County Jail. He was denied bail, given the severity of the charges and the nature of the alleged crime. His detention marked a significant step in the justice process. At the time of these initial proceedings, authorities did not publicly announce a motive for the murder. The reasons behind such a horrific act remained officially undisclosed. This left many questions unanswered for the public. The absence of a stated motive often complicates public understanding of such crimes. However, law enforcement typically withholds such information to protect the integrity of their ongoing investigation. The focus remained on building a strong case. The charges against Frattolin underscored the belief that he was directly responsible for his daughter's death. The legal system began its work to uncover the full truth. The community awaited further developments in the case. Luciano Frattolin's public persona versus reality. Luciano Frattolin cultivated a public image as a devoted and loving father. This portrayal was prominently featured on his coffee company website, Gambella Coffee, which has since been taken down. The site presented a narrative of paternal affection. On this platform, Frattolin described Melina as the light of his life. He spoke of her with profound adoration, painting a picture of an inseparable bond. This public declaration aimed to convey deep paternal love. He further stated that Melina was the inspiration for, everything. This suggested that his life's pursuits and passions were driven by his daughter's existence. It was a powerful statement of devotion. Frattolin also claimed that his endeavors were guided by a desire to ensure Melina wouldn't face social injustices. This positioned him as a protector and advocate for his child. It added a layer of altruism to his public persona. He expressed a desire to spend as much time as he can with his beautiful daughter. This sentiment resonated with many parents. It reinforced the image of a father cherishing every moment with his child. However, this carefully constructed public image began to crumble when confronted with conflicting accounts from those who knew him. A former friend provided a starkly different perspective. This friend's testimony challenged the narrative of the devoted father. The friend acknowledged that Frattolin truly loved Melina. This indicated that some affection was indeed present. However, this love was seemingly complicated by other aspects of his personality and lifestyle. Crucially, the friend revealed that Frattolin didn't like the idea of being tied down. This suggested a desire for freedom and a reluctance towards traditional responsibilities. Such a sentiment could conflict with the demands of full-time parenting. The friend also indicated that Frattolin's primary residence was in Ethiopia, not Montreal. This detail contradicted the impression of a father consistently present in his daughter's daily life. It suggested a more transient existence. Despite this, the friend mentioned that Frattolin would visit Melina at least once a year. This confirmed a level of ongoing contact, even if not continuous. It painted a picture of a father who was present periodically, rather than constantly. The contrast between Frattolin's public declarations and the friend's insights was striking. It highlighted a potential disconnect between appearance and reality. This disparity became a critical element in understanding the case. The public persona of a doting father was a powerful one. It made the subsequent allegations of murder even more shocking and difficult to comprehend. The case forced a re-evaluation of what was truly known about Luciano Frattolin. Familial background and custody. The familial background of Melina Frattolin reveals a complex custody arrangement. Melina's parents had been estranged since 2019. This separation meant that Melina's upbringing was divided between her parents. Melina's mother had full-time custody of her daughter. This arrangement meant that Melina primarily resided with her mother. Luciano Frattolin's visits were therefore scheduled and temporary. The specific terms of the custody agreement dictated when and how Luciano Frattolin could spend time with Melina. These agreements are designed to provide stability for the child. They also define the responsibilities of each parent. On the day of the incident, Frattolin was expected to return Melina to her mother. This return was scheduled for Sunday, July 20th. It was a critical deadline in the custody arrangement. The failure to return Melina as scheduled would have immediately raised concerns. This expectation underscores the temporary nature of Frattolin's time with his daughter. It was not an open-ended visit. The custody arrangement provides crucial context for the events that unfolded. It highlights the structured nature of Frattolin's access to Melina. Any deviation from this structure would be significant. The estrangement of the parents and the full-time custody arrangement are important details for understanding the dynamics at play. They suggest a history of parental separation and defined roles. This background is essential for a complete picture of the family situation. Conclusion and broader implications. The investigation into Melina Frattolin's death remains ongoing, even as legal proceedings continue. Law enforcement agencies are meticulously gathering and analyzing evidence. The pursuit of justice for Melina is a priority. This tragic case serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence. It underscores how such violence can shatter lives, particularly those of innocent children. The ripple effects extend far beyond the immediate victims. The Melina Frattolin case highlights the inherent complexities of familial relationships. It demonstrates how trust can be betrayed within the most intimate bonds. The dynamics between parents, even when separated, can have profound impacts. Furthermore, this case underscores the critical importance of thorough investigations. The initial inconsistencies in Frattolin's story were key to unraveling the truth. Diligent police work was essential in moving beyond the initial false narrative. Finally, the case reveals the potential for hidden truths behind seemingly idyllic facades. Luciano Frattolin's public image as a devoted father starkly contrasted with the grim reality of his alleged actions. This disparity serves as a cautionary tale. It reminds us that appearances can be deceiving and that true character may not always align with public presentation. The Melina Frattolin case is a somber narrative that demands our attention. It compels us to reflect on the vulnerabilities within our society and the relentless pursuit of justice for those who cannot speak for themselves.